Joining us now is a man who signed his fair share of deals.
That's right.
Large ones.
Yeah. Record setting.
This guy was running to the bank more than he was running to the quarterback. But the reason why he was doing that is because the way he got to the quarterback was unlike anything we had seen for decades. This man came in as a brawler, a shit talker, a man who could get around the edge and run you over. And the night he was drafted, he was booed.
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
City did not want him.
No.
What would he do later? Oh, whenever that city needed somebody, he would step up and help all his citizens because he felt as if he was just a member of the community down there. You would watch the Houston Texans play a game in person, and every single commercial that would run on the Jumbotron had J.J. Watt on it. You know, sometimes teams will have like car dealerships that go ahead and get local sponsorships or like a local doctor or a local lawyer, and they'll team up with a player. You know, and that player would do an ad read for a local thing, and then there'll be a picture on it. Every company in Houston did a deal with this guy. And there was a reason this guy was the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us every single week, today being the first time, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, future Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
You look sweet. You look sweet. You look sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. Very, very excited about this, and you look jacked, Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am right now. I'm putting into work. I feel like a Wyatt, you know what I mean? But like that guy over there, he's up every morning 4 a.m. too. He's starting to wear more stuff because I think he's getting more jocked and more lean. We're just trying to be the most fit show because by the end of the season, I'm probably going to be 270, 280 of just slob. So right now, we need to enjoy it. Let's talk about this season, JJ. How's Burnley doing, huh? How we doing?
Here we go.
How we doing?
We're having fun.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. We're coming out of the international break now. We've had a little bit of a rough start. We played the best team in the world to start the season, which was a tough start.
Yeah.
But we've had the international break to get some of our new signings accustomed to our team, learning our style.
Culture.
And I'm really looking forward to the matchup against Nottingham coming up. And that's a big one for us.
Nottingham's a
It'll be
big
good.
one. Oh, hey, Nottingham, when they come to town, though, boy,
Gritty.
hope that Burnley squad's ready because in the crowd, there's going to be some shenanigans
Throwing fists.
from the hooligan.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we got a hooligan crew right here. If we took this crew over there, we could do some damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, first flight to Scotland, I'd go.
Right away.
It's in England. Actually, I should probably learn if England and Scotland are the same thing.
Yeah, see?
whoa.
That's not good.
Yeah.
You're an owner over there. You're one of the
Whoa.
faces of the team. I mean, we can't have that.
Jeez.
I would love to go watch.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
a McAfee show live from Turf Moor in Burnley. I mean, just dream stuff. Someday we'll get you there, boys.
Hell yeah. That would be a dream.
All in.
What part of that's in England? Yeah, we're in England.
Yeah, it's up just outside of Manchester. It's up in northern England.
Oh, Manchester.
Okay.
Of course.
We know Manchester.
Yeah, no, you guys.
We love Manchester. That's one of our favorite places.
New Hampshire.
All right, let's dive into some American football. You know, no offense, football. This weekend, your brother went ham. Now, I assume this is something that you expected. It was also revealed that he beat your number of games to get the 80 sacks record by like 4 games or 5 games or something like that. You had an NFL record. Your little brother beats it. I assume this is something you enjoy seeing, or is it still competitive banter about your career being greater than his career, him trying to catch you falling pools? What is the relationship between you and TJ, and how do you genuinely feel about TJ in the history books of the NFL as a pass rusher?
No, I'm extremely happy for him. We give him plenty of shit as a brother, as a friend, as like there's lots of stuff. He sent a text message to me and Derek of his entrance where he does the jump, and he said like highest vertical jump in the family. That you get a lot of shit for when you text it in the group.
Yeah, I assume,
but
yes.
passing my records, and anytime you're mentioned alongside Reggie White amongst things, like I'm elated for him. And he's going to start passing my records at a much greater clip now because he's entering the point of his career where I had all my injuries start to stack up. So he's going to blow by a bunch of them. And I'm happy for him. You know, I watched this offseason as rankings come out, as all these, who's the best defensive player of the NFL, and he's getting listed 4th, 5th on these lists. And I'm sitting there like, are you guys nuts? Like, are you guys literally nuts? And then he goes out there and he just reminds everybody real quickly why he's the best defensive player in the world. And 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, they had a very, very tough day. The 49ers played incredibly well. And they're an unbelievable team. But he is picking up right where he left off, and he's going to have an incredible year.
Fun to watch. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, do we know anything about these teams yet? I know we had Overreaction Monday. We love to talk about what's going on. Oh, this team, we bury teams after week 1. We crown some teams the champ. How long do you think until we actually know like the identity of some of these teams?
You know, I always think back to some of those Patriots teams with Tom, and they would start out, they'd start out rough. They'd be 2-4 after 6 weeks, and people would be like, "What's going on?" And then they'd run on and win the Super Bowl. Some of these teams, you have to give them time. You have to let them learn each other. You have to let them learn the playbook, gel. Let these coaches figure out what's working. Every single year in the league, there's some new plays that come out. There's some new styles of offensive plays that people are running. There's some new blitzes that defenses are running. As these coaches figure that out and as these players get accustomed to it, they'll get more comfortable. But at the same time, you can't discount it. You can't just say, like, no, we're just going to forget week 1. I mean, the Bengals had a very rough week 1. The Steelers had a very rough week 1.
I'd say.
Giants. How do you bounce back from that?
Giants.
The Giants had a very rough week 1.
Buddy.
So how do you bounce back from that? That'll tell you a lot about your team. I think how you bounce back in week 2. I mean, the Giants, that one, you got to bounce back quick and fast and violently.
It was only on prime time. Nobody saw it either.
That's
You
all.
know what I mean? It was
No, and it wasn't against like America's team or anything. It's not like that's a heated rivalry or anything. So, man, all those stats that came out, like for those stats that were like, this has never happened in one season, along with this and this and this, and then everybody was like, oh yeah, they all happened in the same game. Yeah. That was bananas.
Let's talk about a young guy in Houston who got drafted very high. And I know, obviously, you have ties to Houston. I think you went into what'd you go into? You went into something.
A couple of weeks, we're going to go in the Ring of Honor down there.
Wow.
Very appreciate it. Thank you. But yes, I would like to talk about
before we just talk to the new Ring of Honor, let's talk to you getting into the Ring of Honor. Like, when they would play Turn Down for What, did you just get so jacked? You know what I mean? Like they would, it was every single,
crazy.
A big play happens, and he was normally a part of it, whether it was offense, defense, or somehow special teams. He was everywhere. This dude was everywhere in Houston. And then we obviously experienced it every single year. It was a massive game against Houston. It was normally for the division. They would turn Down for What, and all of Houston would lose their shit. Babies in hospitals would start standing up and dancing in there. Are they going to, do you expect that is what it's going to be when you walk out there, right? And you're going to have to do a full, you're going to have to go back. You're going to have to you're going to have to do it, bro. Do the song and dance whenever they play the song.
Like when Tom went and did the
bingo
LFG.
Boom. Exactly. You see how good he looked, by the way. He was running with there was no limps.
Look great.
There was no
The man looks
Whole
good.
new body.
It's a good looking human being.
You got to bust your nose, though. Yeah. You got to bust your nose.
Yes.
You got to go do the whole thing. What is it going to be like whenever you go down there? Have you guys talked about it? Do you know what to expect?
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be really good. I'm so excited. I just went to the facility there for the first time since I left last week, and it felt good to be back in that building. You leave, and obviously there were some rough years there near the end, and they've gone through a rough period down there in Houston. But to know D'Amico's in charge, to know that they've got this thing turned around and they're now working towards being in the right direction, it feels really good. And I'm happy for that fan base. I'm happy for that city. And I mean, I say this, and I'd say it every time I go to Houston. It truly feels like a family when I step off that plane in Houston. I mean, every single person, from the flight attendants to the people working in the airport to the fans, it's literally like I'm coming home. And they all say, they're happy to see me. I'm so happy to see them. And I love it. So I'm very excited to get back in front of those fans.
Hell yeah, dude. Congratulations. A lot of people work their asses off for a lot of different dreams. You're going to go into the Hall of Fame. We all know that. But for your team to recognize you, especially with how it ended, the whole thing happened at the end, to come back, it is a nice full circle moment, especially because anybody that watched you play down there, you were you were Jackie Moon. You were you know what I mean? You were the halftime entertainment. What are we going to do? We're going to show J.J. Watt highlights for 6 minutes. And then we're going to play Turn Down for What? And he's going to come out, Dougie, here we go. He's going to have a touchdown on offense. He's going to have a forced fumble. He's going to block a field goal. And then he's going to bleed. And then he's going to talk shit the whole time. That is what the Houston Texans were for what? 10? How long were you there?
I was there for 10 years.
That was a decade of Houston Texans football.
Holy hell.
I mean, it was remarkable. Congrats. Let's talk about this next decade, though, with D'Amico Ryans.
Thank you. Yes.
Shut up. Former teammate of yours is the head coach. They go big, draft early, a guy that can get to the quarterback. Everybody said this dude was a grown man in college at Alabama. They're certainly missing him now, seemingly down there. What did you see from Will Anderson that made you go, I'm thinking this guy's good?
Yeah, Will is a grown man. I want you to look at this play. He literally carries another grown man to a sack here. This is his first career sack. He's going around the edge. The offensive tackle holds him. Will literally carries him as he bends the corner. Look at the bend. The elite level bend here is incredible. Not many guys are able to do that, let alone do it with a 330-pound guy on your back. Turns the corner, gets the sack on one of the hardest quarterbacks to sack in the entire league, and you can tell he's excited about it. There's many, many more of those.
So is this just what he does, huh? Is he going to have the power game as well, you think?
I do. I think that's probably the part that translates. It takes a little bit longer to translate because, NFL offensive linemen are just a little bit different, obviously. But I do think he has that power. But when you have that elite ability to turn like that and to have that ankle flexion, that you can't teach that.
Why is he holding him, AQ? Get off of him,
what the
AQ.
heck?
Stop holding him,
Cheater.
AQ.
Listen, at some point, you got to do what's best to save your quarterback. And I appreciate that. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Would you recommend that he false starts or lines up in the backfield like we have seen?
Oh!
You mean like all the clips where every single time they do it frame by frame, the ball and the players moving at the same time? Now, I can't argue.
Every single time.
I can't argue about where he lined up, though. I can't argue about where he lined up because he lined up as a tailback.
We're on ESPN. We're on ESPN.
Yeah, have some couth.
Okay, can't just lie.
I reposted one.
One.
Ball.
Okay.
One.
Player.
One.
Move. Same time. Look at this.
One.
Look at that. Same time.
AQ's just muting everybody that's showing him like the early jumps. Oh, I
No,
see.
no,
Everyone
no.
I saw.
Yeah,
you must watch film
look
more
at
than
this
me.
one. Look at
bunch of
this
defensive
one.
players.
Look at this one. He was on sides.
Now, why was he lined up in the backfield?
That's
so
a
far?
great question. But if you're going to get away with it, keep doing it.
Damn right.
Yeah. Amen. Yep. If I could get away with lining up 2 yards across the ball, I would do it too.
No doubt. No doubt.
So I guess, I said yesterday that the refs had a pretty good weekend. They weren't really the conversation. And then the first thing I hear out of AQ is, I'm about sick of these tripping calls whenever guys roll up. And then I hear you, these guys are lined up in the backfield. There's always going to be bickering, I guess, about how offensive line, defensive line is called. And do you think it's gotten better or do you think it's only going to get worse?
I think that we've just come to understand it. It's an offensive league. We know that. So, like holding, I understand. I'm going to get held. They're not going to call holding calls because you could call it on every play, and that would be boring for the fans. It'd be boring for everybody. I do think that the opening night of the NFL having so much focus on that specific topic with the ref and the offensive tackle, that probably wasn't ideal for the league or for anybody. And I think it could have been easily answered with a quick flag in the first or second quarter, and then boom, nipped in the bud. I don't think they should have waited till the last drive of the game.
Oh, it matters now.
Crazy.
It's almost like the ref was setting them up. Like, everybody's talking about it. Just wait. There's going to come a time. Oh, you guys need one first and 20. How about it? Good luck out there. Go ahead, AJ.
TJ, what about your old squad, the Arizona Cardinals?
Whoa. Jeez Louise, Hawker.
Doing a lot of stuff on ESPN.
Wait.
I am unaware of whatever's going on this, your guys' inside jokes or what's happening.
Get the guy's name right,
Yeah.
you sack of
God,
shit.
Oh, wine, Hawk.
going in the Ring of Honor.
It's a compliment.
I'm going to let
It's an absolute
it. I'm going to let it slide because of the jawline. You have a
there you go.
phenomenal jawline.
Wow.
So no problem.
And trust me, I know
What
I
was
see
the
you
question?
Well, I didn't get to it, but I see you with the planes, trains, and automobiles jacket. I'm the only one on this show that would understand what that is.
Wrong.
So, respect to you,
Look,
Tom.
right.
it's certainly on the screen right now. Yeah.
You're scrambling to save the screwed up.
Yeah,
Dennis
way to go.
Gardeck.
You're so-
Dennis
you're so-
Gardeck.
Home
had
Alone.
two
Sweet
sacks.
shirt.
Home Alone.
Dennis Gardeck had two sacks in that game. Your old teammate in Arizona. That guy was all over the field. I watched that film. I couldn't believe the amount of hustle and just pure power this dude plays with. And he's been in the league like 5-6 years. Is he going to have like a monster year?
Dennis is awesome, man. You would love Dennis. He is just like a barbarian. He is going to
AJ
do
would be.
literally whatever it takes to get there. He's a special teams monster. He's been a captain for years down there because guys love him. He's tenacious. He'll do anything to get to the ball. And I think if when outsiders looked at that Arizona Cardinals defensive line and outside linebacker situation, they probably said that's going to be one of the weaknesses of that team. And then they go out there and they have 6 sacks and they're pressuring the quarterback like crazy. So they played extremely well. Dennis with 2 sacks was awesome to see. I love that guy. And I hope he goes off. I hope he has just a ton. Those special teamers that can do stuff, but then he actually shows, just give him the reps. He can go out there and sack the quarterback. I love it. I hope he gets tons.
Hey, that place is a dumpster fire, huh?
A little bit.
Do we have a dumpster fire out there, or what do we? It's hot, I guess. It's really hot.
They almost won. Like everybody, like all the tanking and everything, but they almost went out there in week 1 when nobody thought they would have won. Now the defense played extremely well. The offense has to pick it up a little bit to help them out, but there's no secret. It's not. They're not built to be a 12-win team or anything.
Why?
Because of all the buses that go.
Bro, it's a beautiful city. Bro.
It is.
It's like a great city. I love the place. You would think they'd be able to bring in free agents if they wanted to easily because people want to live out there. I just don't understand why. Every year it's like, Cardinals are going to stink. Cardinals are going to stink. Cardinals paid their quarterback. Cardinals are going to stink. Yep. Like that is kind of the new narrative about it. You were in the building. What is that? Is that changeable?
It's tough. When I came down here, I saw a team that had potential. I wanted to help that team realize the potential. And then we started out 7-0. And I was like, I saw it. Nobody else saw it. I saw it. Yeah. I was like, I knew it. I knew this team had potential. And then obviously we went through some struggles. And then last season was really bad. And it all just kind of went downhill from there. So I agree with you. I mean, free agents, I don't know how you don't want to live in Arizona. I don't know how you don't want to go down there. It's just, you gotta win in this league, man. It's all about winning, and it's a struggle right now.
Speaking of a team that didn't come close to winning, you know what I mean? Tone Diggs, Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Yes, JJ. It wasn't. Have you talked to TJ this week? What's the morale? Because I assume he doesn't care about his sacks. I assume he only cares about the win. I don't know if you noticed there was a certain 5-tech, 3-tech who went on the IR. Not a question there. I just wanted to mention that Cam Hayward went on the IR. But what's the vibes coming from TJ this week?
Yeah, I think I did see that he went on the IR. It's unfortunate. He's such a good player. He's been a stalwart for such a long time. I hope he comes back quickly and healthy because he is incredible and he's a massive help to that defense, obviously. I do think Keontae Neal filled in well, and I think he's going to fill in very well. Badgers have success up there. I mean, they just drafted Herbig as well, who looked incredible in the preseason. He has some of that bend we were talking about with Will Anderson. But it's tough up there. I have talked to TJ, and the thing that Mike Tomlin does best is the standard is the standard. So they're going to go in there and they watch that film on Monday, and you don't hold back on anybody. Every single player is getting evaluated. Every single player is being told what they did wrong, and now you go out there and fix it. And you look at some of these last couple of seasons, Tomlin has turned teams around. There's a reason he hasn't finished below 500 in like 16 years or something, because he's a damn good coach. So I'm not worried about him, but that was not a good performance on Sunday.
You playing for him?
I'm enjoying this job. I would have
you did great on CBS.
Oh, yeah.
You did great on CBS. Good suit game, too. But we also see that you're a psychopath still working out in the same exact way as if you were still playing. In Pittsburgh, is just naturally saying, hey, you know what? J.J. Watt's going to play for the Steelers whenever we make a run. His brothers are there. It's going to be natural. Cam Hayward gets hurt. There's a spot seemingly open. J.J.'s going to be a Steeler. That's good.
I love the city of Pittsburgh. I love the people there. I love the way that they treat my brother. I love the history, the tradition. I have so much respect for that place. It is incredible. I'm enjoying being retired. It's great.
It sounds like there's a chance.
Yeah.
Sounds like don't give up.
Not a no.
Can hear it.
Don't give up. Yeah, did not hear a no there. And by the way, Home Alone, final answer.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, there we go.
Home Alone,
Gus
final.
Polinski.
Planes, trains, automobiles. Okay,
John
TJ.
Candy, we
I
get
know.
it. We get it. I know John Candy, big fan.
Yeah, the guy doesn't like to fly. He's in the back of the truck with mom, worst mom in history.
Best
not
both
great.
band in the.
That lady was so bad at being a mom.
Yeah,
Brutal.
Not great.
Now that I'm a parent, I'll say, wife certainly kicking ass. Could you imagine being as bad as them? No, never.
Not just once, 2 times.
No, just child services needed to be sent in there immediately. I don't know how that even.
Can you
happened.
imagine having that many kids?
No.
I mean, having one now, like imagine having 9 or whatever they had.
Never. I was watching this. Who's that freak family that they were on?
The Grizzlies?
No, the.
Ruggers?
Yeah, there it is. The Duggars. The Duggars. I was watching the Duggars. That's like a religion thing. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, we need a producer we could take over.
Yeah.
It's like your family's going to do that. All I see is just a miserable life for the next, 50 years? And then they start going behind the scenes. And it was like, well, Dad didn't see those kids until they got a lot older.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no parenting happening. They're all working out there. It's crazy. One daughter for me, boy. You got a boy, right?
Good boy.
Yes, sir.
Strong boy.
Young boy.
A good boy. He's good. Is that boy going to
Big boy.
Boy, is he going to play football?
boy.
Is that boy going to play football?
Be a good boy.
He's not gonna. I don't. He needs to be too big to play soccer. I think he's gonna keep.
Whoa.
Mom, great soccer player, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I hope he has her speed, athleticism, and agility. Put that with my size. We might have something there.
Wow.
Okay.
Are we homeschooling too, so we don't even have to worry about academia, or what are we doing?
No, we're tossing him into school. We need him to get roughed up a little bit. Rough some people up, rough up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, get out of the house. You know what I mean? You do that. I was watching TJ Watt's highlights.
That's the truth.
From this past week, of course. Yeah, COVID. Everybody's Zoom teaching. Like, all right, we're done with this. I don't know how that happened. I was thinking about Sally and Tim McAfee having to do that with me. No shot. No shot. So shout out to all the parents out there.
He crushed it.
Shout out to all the parents out there. I was watching one of TJ's sacks, and boy, did it look eerily similar to another Watt that has been out there. This was his second sack now. The move he makes, the get off he does, but the double hand swipe, JJ, this was your baby, was it not? And do you guys work on this?
Yes, this was my baby. I love the double hand swipe around the edge, especially when an offensive lineman opens up that gate for you at 2 or 3 yards. So you can just swipe the hands, get around the corner, get the sack. We do talk about it. We do work on it. He came and visited me this offseason. We did some pass rush work together. He has an arsenal of moves. He can do a bunch of different things. And this is one that he's added in, I would say, the last year or two. And it's just another thing that he can do. And look at that. You just swipe the hands down, guy opens up the gate, and it's straight to the quarterback with a chance to knock that ball out. Nothing better than the free run with the ball just sitting there.
Okay, so you said you guys worked in the summer. We actually pulled this up. Were you working on that move here? No, not here. Well, look at you boys there. Were you working on that move here? Literally, that's it, right?
That's it. That's a double swipe right there. We were working the double swipe, and then you turn the corner. Oh yeah, zoom in. There's nothing-
Wait. I can't. I gotta zoom out here.
Stopped working.
What the hell is this, dude?
God.
Is that a thigh? Is that a thigh right there?
That's what you got. That's what you got on your arm right now. You're hanging off your shoulder.
Oh, there's the TJ. Is that the work? That's the actual move you guys are working on a golf course right there?
Yeah, we were. There's a patch of grass right in front of my house. Yeah, and notice we're not in the fairway. We're staying in the rough. Respect the course.
Appreciate that.
Amen.
Could you imagine golfing and then like people see alligators on the course and I saw a guy getting tracked by a hyena the other day in some other country or whatever. Could you imagine teeing off, walking down, and then just seeing, oh, those are the 2 biggest whites I've ever seen. What is that thing? What are those? Like, oh, that's the what? The what?
Who?
The what? The what? I would assume it's a pretty nice neighborhood, nice golf course.
Yeah.
So you're actually working on this stuff and then seeing it translate in the game immediately for TJ. Is your position a craft position? Like people can make actual leaps quickly at your position? And how much room does TJ have to still grow, or is he at his peak right now?
No, I think you definitely can, and especially at the level that he's at. He's now at the point where he's refining things and he's adding just the tiniest little things to take him from already the best to even better. And to me, the thing that I love about him the most, and the thing that is so significant for him moving forward, is that he still wants to improve. He still wants to get better. He wants to find that little one move, or he wants to find that little tip or key that he can get. And that's the sign of the great ones. And he's got that. He's always working. It's pretty badass to watch and to see, and then to talk to him after the games and be like, what were you thinking on this move? Why'd you try this one? It's really cool.
Did you ever say, like, maybe you should go play offense? You know?
Ooh.
Did you say, hey, you know what, TJ? Get 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and then be the offensive coordinator as well. You know, because I think that would really, if you were to not play D-line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, If you just took the offensive coordinator job, I think you're still
That'd be fine.
still
too.
loved, still loved in Pittsburgh out there. Ty has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, there's a lot of chatter about Jalen Carter kind of just being dropped in there this weekend and dominating right away. Lucas Van Ness for the Packers looks like he could potentially be the long-lost Watt brother. Looks very similar to you guys.
Why is that? Why is that?
Well, for one, he's white. And he's also very explosive, very athletic. They're calling him Hercules. So, just body type looks very similar to you guys. But for these young guys who are being dropped in there right away and are expecting to produce, how long does it take a rookie D lineman to acclimate to kind of the size and strength of NFL offensive linemen?
Well, let me tell you, Jalen Carter doesn't seem to need much time at all to acclimate. The guy is tossing people around. He's polished. I mean, he's doing some. Look at this. Look, this is. Wow. He literally is just about to throw somebody out of the way. Like that is an NFL offensive lineman. He is just taking one arm, swatting him out of the way. A little bit reminiscent of a Deacon Jones head slapper. He doesn't quite get the head, but when you got that type of power and that ability to move like Jalen Carter does, oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that guy.
Football was football.
What a move. Just
smacking him out.
Stockton slap.
Jalen has done an unbelievable job, and that's a guy that I'm really looking forward to watch because of how good he is, how early. It really is impressive, man. And to be that big and that athletic and also have some of the polished moves that he's got, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, they're calling him a rhino. They're saying this dude doesn't even know he's a rhino. Strength is obviously, like, I guess whenever we just talked to Eli Manning and we talked to him, we're like, hey, I think whenever we're trying to evaluate these quarterbacks, obviously the throws, everything, we're trying to figure out the brain. Like the brain is the most important thing whenever it comes to quarterback. That's why you see guys like Purdy just drop in and figure it out. Now, does Purdy have a stronger arm than everybody else in the NFL? No. Does Purdy is faster than anybody? No. But Purdy knows exactly what he's doing. Like that's the key thing, I think, whenever we talk about quarterbacks. For defensive line, strength is obviously we need it. That's the most important part.
Having played the position, I can tell you it's definitely not brains, that's for sure. All we have to do is chase the ball around, man. It's a sweet gig. I always tell people, like, we have the easiest job because any play call, they literally just tell us where to line up and that's it. Everybody else has like 15 words they have to know. AJ's job was impossible. I don't even know how you do rush and coverage all at the same time. But us up front, it's all about strength. It's all about athleticism. And I think that mobility, the ability to have your hips move, to be able to drop your hips, change direction, stop on a dime, that is really important to have in conjunction with the strength. You could have the strongest guy in the world, but if he's tight and bound up, he's not going to be very successful as a D-line.
Jalen's only going to get stronger, we assume, which is wild to think about. Go ahead, AJ.
What do you think about some of these third down packages we're seeing? We've seen Myles Garrett, faking crossover dribbles in front of the center, putting double, he can go A-gap to A-gap. All these third down packages we see, like, how fun was that every week, I think? You can get with your coach, and all of a sudden you get to see this is what we're going to do to attack these guys, and we get them in third and medium, third and long.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, when you're doing a crossover move like that before the play starts, that is the definition of in the zone. It is like, I know the feeling. I know that I've never done a crossover before a play in my life, but I know the feeling of thinking I can literally do anything I want on this field right now, and I'm going to dominate. And that's what he's feeling right there. He's like, screw it. I'm just going to do some crossovers. And the funniest part about it is he showed the offensive lineman the move he was going to do. He literally did a crossover on the center and then just blew right past him. Watch, he takes one step to the left, jabs, and then goes around. Like he practiced it for 3 seconds before the play started. But I think that's like take a hint here, bud. Probably going to get caught with a crossover.
Could you imagine next game he's
do it.
all right. That's
right.
But I think it's great that they're moving him around. I mean, you got to, on defensive line, when you got a guy like Myles Garrett, you let him find the fish, whoever that is, and you let him go rush where he wants. And he got the move. He was on the left some, he was on the right some, he was on the center. So you let those guys move. Jim Schwartz knows what he's doing from an attack standpoint. And then you add Zadarius Smith into the mix. I mean, that's a very, very, very good defense right there.
I remember watching an NFL Films thing. You were mic'd up, and basically, I think you started on the right side, and then the next series you were like right middle, and I think you ended up on left side outside. And it was like everybody, the defensive line coach, defense coordinator, and the other people that are on D-line were like, okay, yep, that's where J.J. Watt's going. He's going to go on that side. Is that happening with every team or only, did you have that freedom because you were the elite guy, or how do you get to that point?
I think there's certain guys that you have to do that with for two different reasons. Number one, matchups. You want to try and get your best guy on the best opportunity to win. Number two, it eliminates the team's chance of double teaming you. If you're constantly moving the guy around, an offense can't, they can, but it's much more difficult to identify that and to double team it. If the guy's always on the right edge, you can put a running back there to chip. You can put a tight end there to chip. You can tell the guard to slide out and help. If you're moving the guy around every single play, it's much harder for that offensive coordinator to call the protection to get it to exactly where he wants it to be for that double team. So it does that, and then it also gives them a chance. If there's a guy that they like or a matchup that they like, go take it.
That'd be so much fun. This one. Yeah. Pretty good day. Hey, good way. All right. That's pretty solid. This one. Give me this one over.
You do have to be at a certain status level to be able to do that, because some guys, I mean, everybody wants that guy. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody wants that guy. So you got to, I'm going to take that this time. Thank you.
How convenient. How convenient.
Of course.
Question here from Darius. JJ?
JJ, you already mentioned TJ, Miles, and some of the other guys, but who are some of the other guys, some of your favorite guys to watch right now to get after that passer?
I mean, I love watching Micah. I think Micah's great. What he does, I mean, what that whole Cowboys defense did was pretty incredible. And the fact that they were still out there just hunting in the fourth quarter, up 40-0, and Daniel Jones still in the game, just taking it, man. Just taking it. You have to respect it that he was still out there taking the hits, but you also have to wonder, was that the best move? Even Micah questioned it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Why is that? Why is Micah questioning it, though? Why do you look out? It sounds like something that, defensive pass rushers would never say, look out for a quarterback. But Micah is, genuinely concerned. You sound like you're genuinely concerned for it as well. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I think that Micah talking about that speaks volumes to how they were playing at that time. I think we saw Trent Williams say it with the Steelers. He said, I kind of wish they would have converted a third down so we got a little longer break. I think Micah's kind of saying that, man, I feel we're crushing this so bad. I feel bad for the guy. There's a point where you got to take the pride out of it. You got to, take that, we're going to leave our guy in and keep fighting until the end. There's a point where you have to say, okay, we're down 40-0. Let's be smart in the fourth quarter. Because pass rushers crave the fourth quarter when you're up. They literally beg to be left in the game. I don't want you to take me out of the game because that's my chance to hunt. There's times where you want the game to be close enough where they're still going to throw the ball. They're still going to drop back because you can get it. If it's 40-0, generally you're just going to run the ball and drop the clock out. Instead, they were dropping back and letting Daniel Jones just get crushed back there.
Yeah, here's one of them.
You got to protect the guy.
We got one of these clips. They're down 30+ at this point, maybe 40.
Yeah.
And he's standing back there. The whole D-line is on top of the guy you just paid $40 million a year. You're down 40 zip at this point. It's I love whenever the opponents in the division come out and say, this is malpractice. This is malpractice going on the other side. You echoing that sentiment's beautiful, especially in the Home Alone jacket. Before we let you go, and we can't thank you enough for this Wednesday experience that we're going to have all season long. Turf grass, okay? There's a big thing. Lloyd Howe, who's the new NFLPA senior director.
Yeah, executive
Senior
President.
Super director.
That's right.
He's a guy that was running, he was the CFO for a company that I think tried to get 50 extra million from the government.
Correct.
Now they got sued for that, but we think this guy's a dog. We think he is
Hopefully.
an absolute dog, might be the right guy at the NFLPA. And he has come out and said, if you're trying to do that with the government.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear what he does, with the NFL. His first real public action here is calling for the fields to be flipped to grass. This is obviously a huge conversation around it all. There are stats on the NFL players' side that say, hey, grass is more healthy for lower extremities, ankles, knees, and also every player that's ever played has said, yes, give me grass for my joints as opposed to turf. We had Dr. Sills on, who is the chief medical officer for the NFL, and it's his job actually to go through these stats on the NFL side, and he said, we have a robot, he said, testing every field
That's right.
for every month, because these grass fields change from September to December. These turf fields change from September to December on the outside of the field versus the inside of the field. We're still trying to gather up all information, which, in most places sounds like a delay tactic and something like that. Do you have a heavy opinion on this? And how do you feel about old Howe and the NFLPA seemingly going full court press on this for the first time?
I mean, first of all, I'd love to see this robot. I mean, what the hell does that look like, and what does it do? And also, what does that cost? Like, could we just change all the fields for the cost of the robot?
Solid question.
I mean, all things considered, when everything is equal, I absolutely love grass. Every single player does. It feels better on your joints. It reduces the injury risk. Absolutely. The only time I, as a player, ever preferred turf is inclement weather. If it was raining, if it was snowing, as a player and a pass rusher who needs his footing, I like the turf in that scenario because it doesn't get as sloppy. But overall, 100% I prefer grass over turf. The question that I have, and it's a very legitimate and honest logistics question, is how are you going to do it? Because I've seen when international football teams, soccer teams come and play in America, I've seen them lay down these grass fields for them. And some of those are really, really shoddy. You're putting down a little slices of grass on top of straight concrete. It slips and slides around. I've seen it. I watched a game almost get canceled because of it.
Damn.
So if you're going to do that, that's less safe. But if you have a way, and then you look at stadiums like the SoFi, it's literally dug under the ground. You can't do a tray system there. It's underground. And how are you going to do that every single week to have fresh grass in a dome stadium? Those are the logistics things I understand are gigantic and tough to figure out, and why it's tough to do right now. But do I think that grass is better? Absolutely.
Yeah, and they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it wasn't built to have a nice natural grass field. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. That,
Real Madrid did. I mean, Real Madrid Stadium is insane with what they did with their grass. Yeah.
How about it?
Talk about robots.
Arizona's awesome. They take that thing out for a walk, the field, and then bring it back
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful.
Super Bowl wasn't the best.
Well, that's because they wouldn't listen to the Sod father.
Yeah.
No.
Sod father, yeah.
No, Sod Prince, Sod's son. New, this is classic old school, new school.
Exactly.
Sod father, who's been doing every single Super Bowl since it started, 53 of them. Okay, 90 some years old. Still got his fastball though, he says.
Oh, yeah.
He said this new son of a bitch wouldn't listen. They put too much water on it. They put the tarps on top of it, and that's what you got. And then they try to smear my name. Sodfather said, I didn't have any say in my last Super Bowl. So we don't know what's right and what isn't, but we do know that grass field was terrible. So bad that they actually thought that the NFL was doing it so that NFL players would feel stupid saying that they need grass. It's like, yeah, they're going to do that on Super Bowl. They're going to.
Of course.
But
Well,
they are playing 4D chess at all times.
that's right.
They would.
Just like J.J. Watt, we appreciate you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, rocking a Home Alone jacket. I can't read it. Yeah.
Kenosha Kickers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Great polka band.
Great polka band.
Yep.
Took them forever to get to shows, though.
Yes, it did.
They are not flying.
A little much.
You guys created, the Wright brothers did what? Yeah, I'm not doing it. Give me the back of a box truck. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt. That's going to be fun.